Today I want to discuss whether punitive damages should be allowable in texting and driving cases. Believe it or not, this issue has not yet been determined by Illinois courts. So what are punitive damages? Punitive damages are distinguishable from compensatory damages. Compensatory damages are meant to compensate the victim. So if there is a wreck and someone is texting and driving and seriously injures someone, the injured person would be entitled to compensatory damages for their medical bills, lost time from work, suffering, disability, things of that nature. They would not necessarily be entitled to punitive damages. You have to ask the court for leave, in other words, permission to seek punitive damages. Now, punitive damages are allowable in drunk driving cases. Illinois courts have determined that when someone is driving drunk and hurts somebody, that they've met the threshold necessary to allow for punitive damages. This threshold is whether someone's conduct is acting with an utter indifference or conscious disregard for the safety of others. The whole purpose for punitive damages is to punish the person who is committing the acts that we want to discourage. So punitive damages have an effect of saying, as a society, if you do this, not only are you potentially on the hook for the damages that you caused to the victim, but also for punitive damages to deter this conduct from happening. And depending upon the defendant, so for example, if you're a large corporation, the type of punitive damages that would punish a big corporation would be something different than, for example, the punitive damages for somebody who has very little. When you have very little, anything hurts. When you have a lot, then punitive damages have to be commensurate so that it's a deterrent for other people to not commit that type of act in the future. So let's discuss whether punitive damages should be allowable in Illinois for texting and driving. One thing is clear: texting and driving is very similar to drinking and driving. Studies show that the level of impairment when you're texting and driving is very similar to the level of impairment with drinking and driving. So if 1.3 million crashes were occurred, which in 2011 was about a quarter of all accidents, then do we as a society want punitive damages to be allowable in cases where folks hurt someone else as a result of texting and driving? And like I said, in my opinion, the answer should be yes. The only defense really to texting and driving is, why should there be punitive damages? Everybody does it. But is that really a good defense, or do we want courts to put an incentive on people so that nobody's doing it anymore and many, many, many lives can be saved? I'm curious to hear what your opinions are, and maybe we can continue this discussion.